Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this wide, wonderful world of ours. My name is Victoria Rose, and I am coming live to you from Spain, our golden isles. With all the countries that I've visited and getting my head around how to correctly pronounce the names. Today I want to talk to you about my pain in Spain and what I learnt about myself and about how to handle what happens. We're going to have a look at never trust a local. We will also look at homeless in Barcelona and also have a look at lost in Seville. So stay with me, Victoria Rose. I'll be back real soon. I am wanting to share with you what the story was. So let's have a look first at the thing that I'm saying, which is never trust a local. So what happened? Here I am, totally prepared, ready with my last workaway host in Ale, France, to go and catch the bus to Barcelona. All done and dusted. I am organized, I thought, but little did I know how wrong I was. What did I do to ensure that my host would know exactly where we needed to go to get that bus? I showed my host the address. I actually showed my host the address twice. And it wasn't until we actually got into Ale and discovered that she had never even seen the address, because she's like locals. When you live in a place for some time, you become blind to what really is happening. So what happened? My host looked at the address, but knows where she needs to take me to connect with the bus to go to Barcelona. So it was okay. She just said, yes, I know that. I'll take you there. She didn't know it. The bus station had changed, so I missed the bus to Barcelona. Oops. So what next? I needed to get to Barcelona because I had my Airbnb accommodation booked for that night, and I'd lashed out a little bit. It was splashed out. It was $100 per night, which is more than what I normally spend, but I wanted to have a little treat. So here I am. We figured out that I could catch a local bus to Nîmes and then get to Nîmes and catch that train, and no problem, I'll be in Barcelona at the same time. Oh, there's a slight extra cost, $103 extra that I now need to spend to get to Barcelona. But let's do it anyway. So I jumped on the local bus and I got to the train station. Oh, thank you, Patricia. Thanks, Trish. I'm not adventurous, or sometimes I think, I'm not that sure that I'm so adventurous sometimes. I got to Nîmes, rushed into the train station. I'm carrying a lot of stuff. If that's one thing I've learned, I have way too much stuff. Anyway, so guess what? April the 8th was the first day when many French children went on holidays. The train was booked out. So I had to catch the next train. It's another 4-hour wait, which meant that I was now going to be 3 hours later in Barcelona. So I contacted my Airbnb host, and I thought it was a bit strange because I'd contacted her a few times and on WhatsApp, and she hadn't responded. And I thought, I'm wondering if I'm having a problem getting through. So I found other closer Wi-Fi, or what I thought might have been a stronger, is what I meant to say, and I sent her an email. Caught the train, got into Barcelona, and it's now 7:30, and I still hadn't heard from my host, so I made my way to our meeting point, and I still hadn't heard from her. So I'm there thinking, what is going on? Why can't I pick up the Wi-Fi on my phone that's here? Here's the other problem. When you spend all that time in train stations and on trains and on buses, you don't get a chance to recharge your devices. So I was so close to almost being totally out of juice. I needed to get to my Airbnb accommodation. She was not responding though, and it was getting later, so it was around 9:30 that I finally asked people, look, I cannot connect with my Airbnb host, and that's my accommodation for tonight. It's my first night in Barcelona. Take pity on me. I know. Oh no, Trish. So I actually asked 3 different people. See, here's the thing, women don't ask, and I realise I'm just as bad as others. You think, no, I'll figure this out, and often you can, but in figuring it out, sometimes you need to ask. So I approached 3 different groups who didn't speak English, but it must have been the anguished look on my face. They very kindly phoned the number for me. Still no response that end, so it wasn't a problem with WhatsApp. For some reason, her phone was not responding. She was not picking up the call. So I figured out a way. I'm on really super low batteries now, but I just had probably 10% left, and I found my way to her address, but she wouldn't answer the buzzer. And you know, in that desperation, I'm thinking, oh, it's 10 o'clock now. I don't have, what's going on? So no answer to the buzzer. This young man took pity on me and let me in, and up these stairs I climbed, lots of very steep stairs, and I'm knocking on doors saying, are you Chris? Are you Chris? Oh dear. And then I finally go up the 3rd flight of stairs, and this door opens, and this woman stands there, and she motions for me to come in. And I go, are you Chris? And she says, yes, didn't you get my email? I said, no. When did you? I sent you an email, she said. It's not possible for you to stay here tonight. I said, what? It's now 10:30 at night, and you're now telling me it's not possible for me to stay here? I paid to stay here. It's not possible, she said. I said, listen, you're going to have to help me find accommodation. Phone Airbnb, she said. This is your problem. It's not mine. I said, hang on. You have not emailed me. If you'd have emailed me by 8 a.m. just this morning and let me know there was no accommodation, I would have been okay. I could have, not happy, but I could have found other accommodation. Anyway, she was adamant that it was my problem and that I needed to do something about it. And she wouldn't take the time on her computer to help me find accommodation either. All she wanted to do was to justify how she'd sent 40 emails to Airbnb and made 40 calls. And I said, why didn't you send me one email? Just one email and let me know. It's your responsibility. So in the end, I said, let me out of here, because clearly there was some issue happening. So, I mean, further than what was originally than what I could see. So I went downstairs, I went out on the street, and I thought, great, I've got about 5% battery left, and I need to get a new SIM card for Spain, and I don't know where to go. That isn't going to cost me €300 or €400 a night for accommodation at this time of night. Do you know, it was incredible. A nightmare, Trish, an absolute nightmare. As a matter of fact, Trish, you have said exactly what it was like for me on that time. It was an absolute nightmare, and I was getting a little bit scared because I do carry a lot of stuff, and I'm finding, as I've been traveling now for coming into 8 months, and I'm not as fit as I used to be, and I'm lugging all this stuff around. And finally I found a guy that was still open at that time of night, he put in a new SIM card. And he was able to recharge my battery on my phone for about 10 minutes because he was over his time. Oh my gosh, oh, thank you, Trish. Honestly, I almost cried then because I thought, this can't be happening. Okay, universe, what's going on here? Thank you. Yes, I think I did say the F word once or twice, not to her, but certainly to myself. I said it once or twice. So then this guy who fixed up my SIM card, he said, I'm from Pakistan and I love Australia. And he, a complete stranger, went online and found me accommodation in a hostel 7 minutes walk away. I said, great. So thank you so much. So I had, it was a slight recharge on my phone, so I was able to get a beeline for this hostel called No Limits Hostel. And I thought, yes, thank you, universe. So I go to where Google tells me it is, and it's not there. I went, no. I walked past it 3 times. I actually went up a dark alley at the back, thinking, is there a back entrance? I could not find this hostel. And of course, now my battery was really probably on 1 or 2%. And I'm going, no. So there was this guy standing, it was late at night, but this guy was there, this wait person. And I said to him, do you know where the No Limits hostel is? And he said, oh, there's a hostel just 2 doors up. I went and had a look, and yes, there is a sign. But someone who loves fancy fonts had done this fancy font, No Limits, and no light. You couldn't see the sign. I found out later that others in the hostel, some had walked past it 5 times. And here I am at night. It's now 11 p.m. at night. So, and guess what? More stairs. So I go up these stairs and I sit down and I'm just about at the end of my tether. And the only accommodation left was to share a 6-bed dorm. I said, I'll take it. So yes, it is true. You never say never because things happen where I honestly thought, now I know it sounds a bit dramatic, but in that moment, guys, I honestly thought that I would be sleeping in the streets in some dark alleyway. My budget does not allow for 200 to 300 to 400 euro per night, even if I could have got that accommodation, because not all receptions are 24 hours. I hope I could get a glass of Chianti. The only thing that would have worked was a really good champagne. But anyway, so I walked in. I know, thank you, Trish. I love it. So what I then did was I thought, okay, I'm here for 2 nights and I've just got to put this behind me. So what did I learn from that? What I learned from that was a couple of things. Do not give the responsibility of where you need to be to anyone else. It is your journey. And even though I'd shown my host twice where this was, what I will do if anything like this ever happens again is I'll actually get the location on Google Maps and hold my computer up so that she can see, or he can see, actually where it is, because reading an address never saw it in the first place, because in their mind was the address that she knew, being a local, she knew where she needed to drop me off to pick up the bus. I also learned that you can check into a hostel at any time when it's 24-hour reception. I had girls coming in at 1 a.m. in the morning and the last one came in at 3 a.m. in the morning. But you know what? I didn't care. I'm in a bed, one of the most uncomfortable beds, but it's still a safe bed. The door is closed. I finally made it. 11:30 at night, I finally found a bed, and I don't want that to happen again. I'm not sure that it will never happen again, but I'll do things to diminish the chance of that happening again. And the next day I got up and I went to Sagrada Familia, and I'm wearing my Sagrada Familia t-shirt, which is a size large. So what happened then? So then I left Barcelona on my way to Seville because I'm at a workaway here in Spain. Oh, thank you, Patricia. Oh, they are, Trish. They're certainly. They certainly did get better. Look at where I am now. Can you see this amazing place? Look at that. Isn't that incredible? It's very peaceful here, and I am happy. So then what happened? So then I caught the train, and I made the mistake of taking a 12-hour train trip. I'll never do that again. From Barcelona to Seville. I had not realised how impacted I was by the stress. I know that sounds crazy now as I'm relaying what happened to you, but I hadn't realised how much I was really impacted. So I got off the local bus in Seville, in a local suburb, and I'm thinking, now I've got to find my accommodation. It's dark. Oh my gosh, I hope I've got enough batteries. I was running low again because 12 hours on a train and nowhere to recharge your battery. So what must have happened, and I know it did happen. So here I am. I've got my backpack that's got the computer, and it's like a body part. It's always at the front. My big backpack's at the back, and I've got my trolley bag as well. And somehow I took it off to put it on the bench to check where did I need to go to my accommodation. And then I walked off going, yes, here it is. Oh, it's not far away. Oh, I'll be able to find this, won't I? I walked away and I didn't even think about that backpack. As a matter of fact, it wasn't until I'd had my shower that night and I went to recharge my laptop that I could not find the backpack. I was so gutted. You have no idea how devastated I was, because to lose my laptop, there is so much here. This is my business, it's my life, it's got so much. Sure, I back it up to, I use Backblaze, and I'm very happy with that, but to download all that, you've got to have another computer. And guess how much a Mac is for me to have bought in Seville is €2,000. And I'm not that sure I even like the new MacBook Pros either. So that night I'm lying in bed and I'm saying, my mind is going crazy. And I'm saying, no, you need to train your mind, Victoria. So I'm thinking to myself, I am on that 1 p.m. bus tomorrow and I will have my laptop. Yes. And I kept saying that over and over again. And I was not on that 1 p.m. the next day. And I didn't, because I didn't have my laptop then either. So I stayed another night, had to move to another location, and because it's pretty packed in Seville. And so that, I went to the police station, I went to the Lost and Found 3 times. Have you got it yet? They couldn't speak any English, but they got the message. And I was losing faith, and I realized that what I could do, I'd forgotten this. So you know how it's got, so what did I learn? Well, I learned that make sure that if you have a body part that it stays attached to your body. I learnt that. I also learnt that I have to have very clearly inside contact numbers and any way for someone to find my backpack to get in touch with me. Now I know you're thinking, well, that should be pretty obvious, Victoria. What were you thinking, girlfriend? Well, the thing is, I never ever thought that I would not have that backpack. I never ever thought that I would actually lose it, because it's like here. I feel naked without it now. So what I learnt was this, that yes, you can find your iPhone, but when you've got a Mac, you can also find your Mac, and you can set it up that when someone opens it and goes online, you have choices. It can make a sound when they go online. So I set that it make a sound, and you can put in a message, and you enter in a code so that when you get your Mac back, you can enter in that code and everything's back as it should be. But no one else can get into your Mac as far as going online. Clearly they can access what's in your folders and what's on your desktop. So I put a message that this Mac is my property. My name is Victoria Rose. Please phone, and I gave them my Spanish number so that we can arrange for you to hand my Mac back. And then that night, I got this phone call after 11 p.m. and here it was Javier. And he said, Victoria, I've been trying to contact you. I couldn't decipher your writing. I kept getting it wrong. But I had written my number down, and he said, can we meet tomorrow morning and I'll give you your Mac back? Oh, I said, we can. So what happened then was I met up with him. He handed me back my backpack and he said, I was hoping it was full of money, but it wasn't. And then I wondered, oh, is there a bomb in here? And then I discovered it was an apple. He said, but I also realized that the person that owned this backpack is an artist, because I could see what you'd done in your diary, because he actually found the number to phone me in my diary. And he wouldn't take any monetary reward. I was just so... I just burst into tears because I thought such incredible luck and such incredible kindness, and he didn't want to diminish his, I guess, good deed. I certainly think it was a good deed. No, he wanted to give me back my Mac, and that was it. Done deal. I just got him a coffee and some breakfast. Happy to do so. So what did I learn from that? What I learned from that is to, as I've already said, make sure that in everything I've got, there are contact details. Now, that hasn't been that easy, guys, because I have traveled to so many places, and in each place I've changed the SIM card. So I've had a different number, but I'm getting my head around it. I'm getting a lot better. I am safe here with my new host, an amazing woman who has a cookery school. She does cooking holidays. She's here with her finca, and I'm supporting her to get the word out about her cooking holiday finca and what she offers. And I love doing that stuff, so I'm happy with that. My name is Victoria Rose. I am traveling all around Europe, Turkey. When I leave Spain on the 27th of April, I am flying to Albania. I will be working with a centre, it's another workaway gig, who support refugees and women of domestic violence. And my intention is to be there for about a month. Where will I go after that? I don't know. It will unfold. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey. Please subscribe. Go ahead and like my Facebook page, Over 60 Still Fabulous. And I do this. This is what I want to leave with you today. One of the main reasons that I'm doing this travel, apart from personal satisfaction, of course, I have a mission, and that mission is to prove that you can do this on a pension. I'm an Australian, and so this is on an Australian old age pension, thank you, Cheryl, thank you so much, that you can do it on that. You don't have to be stuck, guys. You can travel around the world. I'm a crazy woman. Oh, thank you, Mary. Oh, well, it takes a crazy woman, Mary, to actually know a crazy woman, you know. Ah, thank you, Trish. thank you guys. I'm hoping that Eva will, thank you, Eva will come with me in a few days' time and we'll do an interview because she has a fascinating story and I think you might like to hear it too. So thank you for supporting me, and thank you all so much for your messages and support and love. I think I had over 205, even more comments, and I have to say it means a lot. So thank you so much. Bye.